If you can stop talking for 10 seconds, that would be fantastic. You want to hit the start timer on there? You want to hit? You want to start podcasting, genius?
Hey, Biff.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Why don't turkeys trust each other?
No idea.
Too much foul play.
Much foul play. Boy. I mean, I will say that was one of the worst ones you've done. That was so bad.
Let's see if I can top that. Hey,
Which
Biff.
direction you're talking about? Yeah.
Hey, Biff.
Yeah.
What happens when cranberries get sad?
What happens when cranberries get sad, Jacque?
They become blueberries.
Not sure if that was better or worse, but yeah, in the same neighborhood. I'm gonna open my Coke Zero now. Thank you very much. Here we go.
But either way, hello, everybody. Welcome to Carnival Personnel. Your good old buddy Jacques.
Yeah, this is Biff.
Hi, it's Joe. Welcome.
We are
By the way, I know you don't eat turkeys. Do you even eat cranberries?
Yeah. Management had the classic store bought, rounded cranberry that comes in a can, ribbed for pleasure type thing that has those grooves in it. But she also made fresh cranberry sauce that truly the other night after, like a few hours after, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go have some pie and ice cream. It's like, no, I'm going to have some more tofurkey in the cranberry sauce that she made because it was really good. It was like this should not be just reserved for this time of year type good. It was really good.
Actually, like Trader Joe's makes a kind of a nice semi-fresh one, and and obviously it's seasonal, but it is one of those things where obviously you don't eat turkey, but they have these those Thanksgiving sandwiches, right? You put the turkey in and the cranberry in and all that stuff, right? And I occasionally crave that thanks to you may know this. Do you remember a place called 80s Market in Pasadena?
Yes.
Yeah. So they used to have this sandwich called the Thanksgiver. So I like to make the Thanksgiver every once in a while. That involves cranberry sauce, and it's like, freaking Trader Joe's only carries that seasonally. So
And
it's a great.
How was your
The
Thanksgiving?
McRib, it only comes around once a year.
McRib. if that right. I was all right. Just kind of spent at home. I did incur an injury at hockey in the morning, so we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm going to be out for a few weeks because of it. But
pulled something? Somebody hit you with a shot?
Yes. No, it was one of those things. It's basically a strain growing. Just kind of extending my leg, trying to stop a puck, and then as soon as I did it, I felt the pop, kind of a thing in there. So.
Well, that's weird. Not the injury, the stopping the puck part.
Yeah.
Hey-o!
Twice. It's actually twice. It was a really good save. Horrible defense because somehow, of all people, Zach's allowed to waltz in from the corner along the goal line, and he just comes all the way across. It's like, I'm sorry, but where's the freaking defense that the guy can come in from the corner and come all the way across to the front? So basically, he pulls me he was on my right, pulls me to my left, and tries to go behind me, right? So as I'm shuffling across, he tries to go to my right, so I kick my right leg that way. And as soon as I did it, I felt that, oh, that's not right. And then the idiot part was that there was his trainer was there for the rebound. So then, he's gonna get the rebound. So then I kick my leg out one more time to stop the rebound. And so it's like, what the hell are you doing? You already hurt yourself. You're 60 years old. Stop this.
You like Sack is a 25 plus year F&H vet. Also labeled with one of my favorite nicknames for an F&Her. He is the Mexicant. Anyway,
yeah. So that's me. So I'll probably
that was your
be up a few.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Joe, how was your Thanksgiving? You strain any muscles playing a sport on Thanksgiving?
Strain my ass muscle from sitting down so much.
Was it Nintendo Sport? Is that the one that was supposed to be like super rare or something like that? Is that right? There was one of the sports game was like supposed to be super rare and whatever.
Oh, I think it was like one of the NCAA games from EA.
Okay.
I think that was like a rare game because like the person on the cover, I guess like I don't know, like so there was some licensing thing, and then it made it
I
like
see.
like they had to recall them or something like that because they weren't supposed to
that
be on
makes
the
sense.
cover.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I thought there was like this one of those things that was like a more like a
I know what you
track
mean.
meet one. Yeah,
Stadium events. Yes, for the old Nintendo. Yeah. Yep. That's like that goes for like over $10,000.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
realize.
crazy.
I thought it was maybe like maybe $1,500 tops, but my God, 10,000 is crazy.
I think that's just the cartridge, not even the box. I don't even know anymore. I've stopped caring about that stuff, but I mean, I haven't stopped caring about old games. I've stopped caring about tracking the prices of these things
stuff that I'll never buy.
Well, yeah, like I saw, I on my feed, I'll see pictures of people posting ridiculous prices at these conventions for video games like that are in the box and sealed.
Right.
You know, a video game that would sell for $60 back in 1998 is now being asked like $3,500 for. It's just
well, I mean, even like when you said that's without the box, that is what amazed me about the toy thing that blew up, some time ago. It's like the boxes will sell separately for more than the toys do, more than the games do.
Because people threw them out in the 80s, and that's it. That's all it is. That's how the rarity came to be.
Yeah, I think it was I think it was like the Star Wars original Kenner Star Wars boxes were going for more than new cars were.
Yeah, old sports cars wrappers.
Right. Like if you could find a box in any condition now, like a lot of them are waterlogged or wrecked and stuff, so the mintier the
names
better.
written on and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll move on to another fun topic. Biff, you're a fisherman and you like to clean your own fish and stuff like that when you go your deep sea fishing.
Well, when I'm permitted to, yes.
I this week or last week got gutted like a fish.
Oh, right. Yeah. How did that go?
It went incredibly interesting. It went well. First of all, it went well.
You want to explain the procedure, or?
Yep. I went in for a hernia operation the week before Thanksgiving, a week ago Thursday, and went in for a hernia operation and woke up to be told, we got in there and there were 4. So we soaked them all together and we put one piece of mesh.
Liberal Jacques letting in all the hernias. You let one in, they bring their family, and it's a slippery slope.
And those hernias who weren't even registered got free health care.
Right. What is it? The chain migration.
Right.
The chain migration of hernia. And what was really great is the day, I think it was the day before I was having my operation, because let's face it, like with anything else, I met with the doctor a good, solid, intense 10 minutes, a month before, where he told me, this is what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then the rest of the time you see the nurse practitioner. Same thing, day of the surgery, nurse practitioners, they're great. I mean, I got amazing care. It was great. I see the doctor for all of 3 minutes, like a few hours later after I come out of surgery. I'm never going to see him again. But all these nurse practitioners were taking care of me, which I thought was a good thing until I find out, that's not a real profession.
That's true. No longer professional. Yeah.
Here I thought I was getting great medical care from these well-trained, seasoned professionals, only to find out it's not a real job.
Yeah, you need
Please elaborate the joke. I didn't get it.
The Department of Education,
thank you,
last Wednesday, the day before my surgery, has deemed nursing and nurse practitioners, which is one level up from RN, as not professional jobs Therefore, they are not eligible for federal grants and funding and loans through the government because it's not a professional job.
Now I get the funny joke.
Yeah, really funny. The fact that everybody I know talks about, yeah, I've had the same doctor for 10 years. I've never seen him. The nurse practitioner, on the other hand, oh my God, he's amazing. She's amazing. This is great. But
they're anyway, like the adjunct professors of medicine.
Yes. Do all the real work.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good stuff we got here.
But it was fine. So as far as the surgery goes, here's the best part is I have a best part about the whole thing, free belly shaving, which I don't know why I didn't think of that beforehand, but I get in there and they're like,
they do that. You might as well let the professionals do it.
Oh, right? yeah. But it's just funny to think about, like, of all the things I was worried about, belly shaving was now here's the tragedy. Some thoughts and prayers. I may or may not recover my belly button because this goes right down the middle. It's and we're talking, we've all had like the arthroscopic stuff. And it's like when I had shoulder surgery, dude, 2 tiny little pinholes in the back of my shoulder. You can't even tell I had a surgery. Yeah. This one, oh yeah, this is a good old Civil War battlefield. Sew him back up with fishing line. I mean, I got my money's worth out of this. This is a scar. It's a good 8-inch scar. But yeah,
are you saying that this procedure left you scarred?
Scarred
for life?
Scarred me for life.
Scarred for life.
And so management, she's worried when she saw the thing. I didn't even think about it. She goes, oh my God, you don't have a belly button anymore. And they're like, oh, well, this would happen. Sometimes it might come back, might not. I'm like, and then because it's me, I'm like, will it be ticklish still? the nurse.
Where's all the lint going to go? That's my question.
Thank you.
That's nature's lint trap. And they took it from you.
And well, I was told that they do sell, which I'm not going to be investing in, spacers. Then I can get a belly button spacer if indeed after the healing process I want one. Like wearing a retainer after your braces come off, I guess.
Wow.
Kind of like an artificial eye for the belly button. Right?
Well, and the thing is, Biff, you haven't seen me, in a while. So I lost all this weight, which
I've seen your videos. So yeah, you look good.
But you can't tell, because I still have this huge. It still looked like I had a gigantic stomach because I had 2 giant softballs there. So so hopefully, and I love going to the gym, but there's nothing worse than being told you can't go to the gym, and now it's all I want to do is go to the gym. But it was fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. How are you? But yeah, my surgery went well. And I'm just glad it's behind me because, like with anything else, it took forever to get here. It's like the waiting. Because when I had the follow-up appointment 4 months ago, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is really serious." We'll see you in 4 months. How serious can it be? I was out the next day. I will say, so Thursday night, I didn't sleep comfortably, but I was fine. Yeah. Friday, they let me go late afternoon, and it was a little more sore. Saturday and Sunday, Biff, I did everything I could to possibly get hold of Jacque Kevorkian. Like I didn't want to.
So they didn't give you good drugs, is what you're telling me.
Well, they did, but I did it's your core, it's your entire core. Yeah, so you can. The most pain I've ever been in my life, and I mean this, the most pain I've ever been in my life, sneezing.
Yeah.
It
sneezing. Yeah.
So Friday, but they did. So here's the fun thing. So they gave me an oxy Friday, and I'm like, no, just Tylenol. They're like, no, you're gonna take this, and it was fine. And they sent me home with a prescription of 5. First of all, I've never seen oxy out in the wild.
Yeah,
they are the tiniest pill. Like I've never taken a smaller pill, and in Massachusetts, it automatically comes with a prescription for Narcan as well. So, right, that's exactly right. And
because when I got my surgery, they gave me that. I think it was basically Tylenol with codeine. I want to say.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I think that my pain was probably gonna be, it was on the shoulder, right? So they actually cut my shoulder up, and it hurt quite a bit when I first got out, and it hurt for a few days, but I don't think, it's very different from the core, right? So, but that's what they gave me. So, and I, obviously this was before those, those painkillers existed. I think so. I think this was pre OxyContin, fentanyl, all that stuff. So
they gave me 5. Like, I
How much
did.
did you get for them?
Yeah, exactly. I took one for Saturday. I took one Sunday, and I'm like, I didn't really feel it, but again, it might have worked very well because the pain was that bad. I'm like, but then I didn't take the other ones. I'm like, yeah, we can get rid of these because I just don't want them around. And
Wait, time out. You get rid of them? You live in Lowell. Come on. Just, I don't know, man. We
I didn't say how.
I know a guy.
Well, I didn't say how I got rid of them. We are recording this.
And what you got in return, but sure, yeah.
So I am. I'm glad that
I will say that when I got my surgery, right, and I was, it was a little bit so-called the old days, right? So they kind of kept you at the hospital probably a little bit longer than they do now. So I think I was there for like about basically 2.5 days, right? Like I got in on a morning, stayed 2 full days, and then the midday, that third day, they got me out, right? But when I first woke up from my surgery, right, they gave me morphine, and it was just like, this is such a wonderful feeling, and now I understand why people get addicted to this shit.
Yep.
It's like holy cow, it's like I'm like floating on cloud 9. This is just amazing. But they cut me off of that after the like the first day and a little bit. So
I was surprised that I could have stayed the second night. They're like, yeah, no, you can stay. We can release you tomorrow. You can go home. I'm like, is there anything you guys are doing at this point that I can't do at home? They're like, no. I'm like, I'd rather go home. It was fine. But by Monday, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then I had to go back in my follow-up on Wednesday. And the lady looked at the chart. She goes, wait, this was last Thursday? She's like, yeah. She goes, I thought this was the week before that. She's like, you are fine. Like I had a drain. Yeah. They took that out, which is creepy. It's just creepy to have this drain. I don't know if you guys have ever had surgery that came home with a drain.
And the weird thing is, I don't know why it's on your backside, right? So that's
it was because I would, every time I got up, I would forget. Anyways, it's fine. So that was good. So I did. One of the things I was going to do in 2025 is take care of some stuff, including me. And so that old man stuff is behind. I feel better.
Well, I and the podcast listening world are glad that you made it through.
Yeah. Thank you.
Relatively unscathed. In fact, possibly improved. I would
possibly,
say, right?
Yes, possibly, indeed.
Yeah. How long have you had this? Like you've been dealing with this for a
long time. Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the year, it wasn't on the top. Like once I lost the weight and you could really see it, I knew it was there and the doctor knew it was there. Yeah. But when management could really see it, she's like, why aren't they doing anything about that? I'm like, it wasn't in the top 3 things that were killing me. Like literally when I went in to do the sleep thing earlier in the year, they're like, this isn't right. None of this makes sense. Yeah. Like when they sent me home to do the sleep study, they're like, yeah, this can't be right. You have to come in here and do the sleep study. Yeah. And then went in to do the sleep study and they're like, you shouldn't be alive. Then find out the prostate is 3.5 times bigger. And that's why I go to the bathroom. So all this stuff is coming, dealing with it. But when you could see how bad it was, it freaked her out. But it's good, but yeah, I mean, I did. I had to move one show last weekend, but I had a show, 7 days later. Joe was there this past Friday, or, at Nick's Comedy Stop. And this is the big standout of this week's show at Nick's Comedy. It was the coldest room I've ever had to tell my little stories in front of. And by coldest room, literally, Nick's there's 2 clubs inside the place, and one of them is always going off. And but this was the only thing happening. And so they didn't turn the heat on because they're like, well, people are only going to be here for a couple hours.
They can leave their jackets on. It's fine.
It takes it's an old building, so it takes a few hours for the heat.
Oh, right. I get it. Yeah, no. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
To kick in. But it was a freezing night. I mean, absolute freezing night.
I mean, Letterman did it for how many years? Like he purposely kept his studio at 50 something degrees. Yeah. So, they got the Letterman experience minus the jokes and comedy and fun and professionalism,
production quality, and
music.
I mean, the highlight of the show truly is
when you left.
When I left, 100%, unarguably. No, Joe and I have a dear friend who was the bass player in my band in the early '90s.
Is the guy that's in Texas? Or
no, that's the first bass player. He's the greatest musician ever. This was this guy's replacement, or he was that replacement. Yeah. And he was with, the funny thing is, like the guy who replaced the first guy never played bass, but needed to live in an apartment, and we're like, well, if you can learn to play bass, you can have this room, and he did, kind of. Really good guy, but we haven't seen him in a few years. Really, really good guy. He knows Joe, so it was great that Joe got to see him. I haven't seen him in years, and also the guy that Joe and I had on the podcast a few weeks back, Nick Zaino, the big comedy writer and New England. Got to put a face to a name with him, so he showed up at the show. So it was great. The show itself was fine. I
have a public apology to make to Nick Zaino right here, and he's not going to hear this. He doesn't listen to our podcast. He's a nice guy, but he only listens to comedy, so this is why he wouldn't hear this.
Oh, right.
When we were having like a little pre-show discussion, it was just him and I hanging out, talking about like he interviewed Bob Newhart, which was amazing, but we were talking about like Newhart in general, like his oeuvre, and how he felt that they remade Faulty Towers in a sense with the Newhart show, because not Bob Newhart from the 70s, Newhart from the 80s when he ran the end, And then I mentioned, you know what? And then like they tried to give him kids in his later TV show, and that didn't really work out. And then I mentioned that he did some sketches, and one of them was like really captured the Bob Newhart essence of the one-sided conversation, was where he played this guy who was like a manager at the post office back in like the late 90s, when everything was going awry with postal workers. They were having mental breakdowns and shooting people, back when shooting people were reserved to one profession. And
that's where the term "going postal" came from.
Right. So there was a sketch where
I thought the going postal was from all the anyway. Never mind.
Right. So the going postal thing was big, and Bob Newhart played a manager at a post office interviewing a potential candidate for a post office job, but it was to the camera, and it was like a one-sided conversation. And obviously the interviewee was saying some crazy things. And I said, well, that was a weird thing, because it was a Mad TV sketch that like really captured like the essence of a Bob Newhart sketch or a comedy. And he's like, I didn't realize that he was on Mad TV. I should check it out. And then and I'm we had a nice little conversation. And then as we left, I said, hey, make sure you check out that sketch. So then I'm driving home. Yeah, that was a Saturday Night Live sketch, not a Mad TV sketch. But there is a Mad TV sketch with Bob Newhart where he plays somebody who is like kind of like a psychiatrist or psychologist who makes people. It's like almost like a life coach, where they come to him and they complain to him about problems that they're having in their life and see what he can do to help. And he's it's in an office, and his remedy is to just yell at them, stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. And that's the Mad TV sketch that I was conflating the two. So Nick, if you're listening, it was a Saturday Night Live sketch. You probably won't be able to see it unless you have Peacock or something.
You had your Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse moment.
How dare you? How dare you, Joe? I mean,
well, that's such a thing. That's why I
trying to get thrown out the podcast. No, it was great to see, and it was a weird night. It was also a weird night. There were some things going on, so here's the fun fact that I just found out. Jonathan Kraft saw me tell my little stories.
Wow.
One of the comedians is on the show that night. Daughter of Jonathan Kraft.
Okay.
So yes.
Oh, okay.
Just, and that,
I didn't know that. Oh,
yes. And this is a gal.
Sadie, right?
Yeah. Sadie Hale.
And, why are we not saying names? We didn't mention.
Yeah.
Sean's name we didn't mention.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Sean Keneally, the great Sean Keneally. Really, it was really great to see him.
Sean Keneally was your old band member that we met up with. Yeah.
Right.
And so as soon as he saw,
kind of going back, because Jonathan Kraft is another comic and not like a nephew of of
the owner of the New England Patriots.
Okay. Yeah.
So Sadie Sims.
Okay.
Yes. So Sadie is his daughter, and he was in the audience.
Got it.
Oh.
Okay, there you
go.
I did not know that.
Well, you wouldn't have seen him because he was all bundled up like he was on the sideline at Gillette in January because it was so fucking cold. Yeah, I did a show with her. She's a New York comic, but she did a show with Mike and I at Off Cabot that Off Cabot that she did.
Yeah, I remember her from that. Yeah.
But getting back to Sean, it was great to see Sean. So when Joe, I think he might be just out of high school, like 94. What year you get out of high school, Joe?
I graduated in 95.
And okay, so here's Joe, 94, 95, sometimes would be our second guitar player in the band, just over the top, just like we have a real guitar, but just like going
unplugged,
but it was very funny. And Sean remembered him, because I don't know if you've seen him since I moved to LA. No, yeah, you might have seen him once.
I saw him. Well, no, we talked about this. I saw him when you played out in Worcester back in 2019.
Yeah, just before the pandemic. Anyway,
at Ralph's.
At Ralph's, yes. It was at Ralph's. Which is also just the funniest thing. So 3 years after that, when I start, telling my little stories in public, that was the first place I did an open mic was at Ralph's here.
Sean mentioned to me when we were talking that he asked me, did I see Dan Cray's video that he posted a couple of months ago it was a music video, but he just used footage of us performing, quote unquote, from 95, 96. And so there is a music video of me, like 19-year-old me, on stage pretending to do music and just gesticulating like a jerk, basically, on Dan Cray's website. The great Dan Cray, not the trumpet player.
The jazz guy. The jazz guy. No, for years, there's a jazz guy named Dan Cray who put his stuff on Spotify first. And so, and for years, they've become friends. Dan and this guy become friends online because different people are like, well, that was a weird song from you. I didn't know you played jazz. Or the jazz guy would get emails. It's like, why are you doing shoegaze or rock now? But dude, it was really fun. It was really fun to meet Nick face to face. It's always great when Joe comes to the show because all the comics love Joe. My management was there with our friend Tracy. My son, my oldest son, has a guy, friend he met online gaming. Which is always. It's just a different world than the three of us grew up in. So they've been dating online for like a year, but they never met. But he flew out for Thanksgiving, so it was nice, and he went to the show. It lives in the middle, of nowhere, so he's not been to like a comedy club in a big city like this. So it was a really fun night. It was great, but moving on from the Thanksgiving stuff. Well, no, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I introduced my son and his friend to that. It was really fun watching it with them.
I've seen that. My God, I don't think I've seen that in like 25 years.
It's great. And literally there's not much that you're like, that didn't age well. It's still pretty great start to finish. Yeah. And it's funny because I have not watched the John Candy documentary. I don't know if I can, but on the Steve Martin documentary, he has this gorgeous library and he has leather bound scripts, all the scripts that he's did. And he's going over the one from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and he shows the speech, the John Candy speech. And
like me.
Dude, even as Joe saying that, I'm trying to not wallow up. And Steve Martin's an actor, and he's a great actor. And I don't know if he's good enough to fake this, but in that documentary, he's talking about this scene, and he's getting verklempt. Yeah. He's getting... And it's one of those things. Steve Martin was like a little mad because it's like, it was a 2-page thing, like no breaks. It was just, but they edited it down. And he's like, he was, people never really understood how good of an actor John Candy was. But that scene is great. Like, and I say that all the time. I like me. Like Joe, and I was talking to management about this the other day. And don't do it, Joe. I'm just telling you right fucking now, don't do it. There's about 4 or 5 things that Joe can just say that he knows is going to get my anxiety just like if he says it before I get my blood pressure taken at the doctor, it's going to shoot me off the scale. And then there's a half a dozen things that Joe can just say that will just make me cry. And I Like Me is one of them, you know, but it's great. They really enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. You know, I don't know if there's a better Thanksgiving movie. You know, I don't, you know, I mean, we can argue forever what's the best Christmas movie, but I don't know if there's anything close to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when it comes to a Thanksgiving movie.
I don't know that many either, though, because then the only other thing that I could think about it was that one where is that the one? I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas where there's a couple that tries to avoid all of them, and they just go on a trip to whatever tropical island and it fails or something like that. Maybe that was another Christmas one. Who knows?
I know that on our friends Plex, they have a Thanksgiving category, and there were a couple of movies on there like, oh, that's a Thanksgiving movie, like Dutch, starring Ed O'Neill. I guess is a Thanksgiving movie. So
look, I wasn't.
I'll take a look. Yeah,
I was not going to bring this up. I was not going to bring this up, but I will now bring it up because Joe did. I don't want to say that our friend Mike ruined my Thanksgiving. I don't want to say that Joe ruined my Thanksgiving, but the fact that neither one have the turkey drop episode on their Plex, it's very hard to find.
Are you? I wondered. Wait,
I looked
because I looked. I uploaded every. I have the DVDs.
Yes, like that one didn't make it up there.
That's odd. Yeah, yes. Maybe I noticed that and didn't do anything about it.
And then you go to YouTube and they don't even have the full episode. They have the scenes. You can watch this 3-minute scene or that 3-minute scene. But that is the greatest. Look, there's not a Christmas movie as memorable or stand out, including It's a Wonderful Life, as much as the turkey drop episode of WKR. And that's in season 1, Joe. That was season 1. And I looked and if for some reason it's up on your Plex, but it didn't come through on my side, which I don't understand why it wouldn't, but I was like, yeah.
I'm looking right now because I need to remedy this.
Yeah,
it's called Turkeys Away. It's season 1, episode 7. And I'm going to look at my WKRP in Cincinnati thing, 13 episodes. And you know what? There's actually a handful of episodes that are missing.
So again, I don't want to say you ruined my Thanksgiving, Joe. I don't want to say it. It's being implied.
Well, that's weird. This is weird because there's something wrong with my Plex because there's like 20 something episodes that season and only 13 of them made it on there. Yeah. Oh,
so look, you know, again, it has.
I'll fix it.
Okay,
I'll make it right.
All right. You know what? Can you get a time machine and go back 3 days so I can enjoy it?
Just treat it like Halloween and celebrate all goddamn year long.
Guilty.
So I did forget that Addams Family Values, the second Addams Family, thing was a Thanksgiving movie.
Right. Because,
and how could I forget? Because Christina Ricci was so freaking good in that movie.
Right, she dresses up like as a native girl.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she had that psychotic smile. It's like, oh my god, this is so amazing.
Yeah, she was good in that movie.
Yeah,
I didn't want, and she was in Wednesday too. I think she.
Yeah,
I never
in the first season. Yeah,
that speech that Wednesday gives, and at the Thanksgiving pageant,
so great.
As everything is in flames.
It's so great.
Oh. It is. So yeah, you know, speaking of in flames, our country, how's everything looking, guys? Everything good with you?
I got a little excited for a moment because I thought you were going to talk about, Swedish, death metal, but no.
Okay, yeah,
you went straight into the this country. It's like, never mind.
We won't even go down the rabbit hole, except, we're about to invade Venezuela. And somebody from the cabinet goes on Fox News and flat out says, well, our oil companies are going to have a field day. It's going to secure our energy needs for the future. It's like we're openly saying on Fox News, yes, we are going to Venezuela to take their oil, full stop. And I did fall down the rabbit hole the other day of all the horrible things this country has done. Do you guys realize what the United States has done in the name of bananas? And I mean that. I didn't realize the name, but the term Banana Republic came because of the war the U.S. government and the CIA raged through Central America for 40 years for fucking bananas. It's the most insane thing.
And you know that banana is now extinct.
That particular banana?
Yeah. So I think I think the current banana is called the Cavendish, and this was the predecessor to the Cavendish that got wiped out basically, got agriculturally wiped out by some kind of a mold or something like that.
Wow.
And apparently the Cavendish is heading that way too. So now we're going to need a new banana soon. The people, I don't remember this, but apparently there are people who say, yeah, the bananas don't, taste as good as they used to be, and it's like a actual thing because it's a different thing.
But how we wiped out, we overthrew government, not a government, several governments in the name of bananas.
Bananas are delicious.
1800, 1900. Anyways, yeah, but we're doing that for oil, so it is. I joked about it. I have a new routine that I busted out at Nick's the other day about being a sub teacher, where I talk about, yes, I'm sure Linda McMahon taking over the Department of Education is going to fix things, and she has. She had a big all hands on deck mandatory meeting for every person in the Department of Education a couple weeks ago, and said, yep, my job is to dismantle it. And so most of the Department of Education is now under the Department of Labor. And I think starting in 2026 or 2027, if there are any public high schools left, part of going to public high school is an entrance exam, the military entrance exam. So they're trying to take all the money out of public schools and funnel them into, we want more school choice, aka they're giving all the money to Christian fundamentalist schools and charter schools that are Christian schools, because the Department of Education has partnered with Turning Point USA, some over the top like Moms for Education, this a Christian conservative like think tank, and the Heritage Foundation. They have partnered with those three, white Christian nationalist entities to create the curriculum going forward in 2026, which does include the workers training program. That is now how they are talking about slavery. When the workers came over, and they've been doing that in Texas, like Texas won the right like 2 or 3 years ago in textbooks to refer to slaves as workers. So when the workers came over from Africa, and now they have been floating that out for a little while, that it was a jobs program, that it was a jobs training program. So anyways, it sucks, and they're putting everything under the Department of Labor. So if you can't afford to go to an $80,000 a year first grade, and you want to go through the public schools, you can, but it's really to get you ready to, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what jobs are going to do.
I'll say that, this, because like, I don't know other countries that do this, right? This country is so strange in that, like, obviously the federal government funds the public schools, but like, public education is essentially, regional, right? In nature, right? There's no true national standards and stuff like that. So it is really weird, right? So, I mean, obviously it's going to be, I think the outcome is probably going to, at least for the short run, right? Probably going to vary quite a bit depending on which state you're in, right?
Well, again, Massachusetts and California, just like we found out a couple of weeks ago when they cut the SNAP benefits. It's like, some states like Massachusetts stepped in and said, all right, well, we'll fund it. If you don't want to fund it, we'll fund it.
Right.
So we'll be fine for a while, but hey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like for the short run, right? We know where it's going to be. But I mean, for the long run, it's hard to, tell what, So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, on other fun stuff. Let's move on to fun stuff. Anything happening in sport of note these days, Biff?
Sport of note. I mean, it is a fun, this is an exciting year for me because the the NHL players are returning to the Olympics. So, it is an Winter Olympic year. So we have a funny schedule, lots of packed in games. I think next week the Kings play the Blackhawks back to back at home, I think.
What?
Yeah, it's something like that. Because the schedule's compressed because the Olympic break is long, right? So
it's like a 3-week break.
Yeah, schedule is wacky, but yeah, so so that's the kind of the exciting thing. But other than that, so I'm just right. I mean, we've all talked about this. A regular season in the NHL MLB, NBA, they just last way too long, right? So right now, hard to get real psyched about what's going on a day-to-day basis, but I am psyched about the Olympics.
So I was at my mom's. We went over for dessert after, and it's the first time I looked up and saw American football in many years. I did not know they changed the kickoff. I literally thought, is this some kind of weird penalty? It's like, I literally saw how I saw a kickoff. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. And so what really sucks about that rule is that, back in the day, the onside, so, the New Orleans Saints famously started the second half with an onside kick in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that surprise element is now gone because you have to basically declare you're doing an onside kick now. So everybody knows. I mean, obviously, situationally, everybody knows when the onside kick is coming. But when you have those wacky coaches that say, you know what, I have to do something with this team. The team's not doing squat. We're gonna do an onside kick to start the second half. That kind of a surprise element is now gone, right? So, but yeah, it's one of those. They wanted part of the problem that they had was that there was no kickoff returns, right? Because everything is just going out of the end zone. And so it's just like a wasted play. So,
And then honestly, having stood on sidelines for NFL games, and this is going back 15 years, and Biff was with me for a couple of those. It is the most insane thing that they allowed that to happen. Like literally, it's the most insane thing. And I forgot how bad kickoffs were. And then when my son played high school football 2 years ago, and I went to his first game, I'm like, no, this has to stop. I mean,
the problem with that is that whole thing is that the special teams, by nature is so much more brutal because the guys who are out there are the guys who are trying to impress the coaches.
Yeah.
Because those are the guys who don't have their regular position. So they are like gung-ho. They're out to essentially, make a name for themselves on special teams. And obviously we've seen, players who became stars being special teams people, right? But still, it's like, yeah. It's just there's these people are out for murder, right?
And like I said, the first time I saw, and so my son can't run, so he could play line, he could play offensive and line, and it was great. And it's a brutal sport, and people get hurt, but thank goodness for his EDS that he could never be put on special teams because
you don't want him going in either direction of that thing.
No, no. And so I looked up and I saw that. So. I follow a lot of funny content creator, like sport creators. Yeah. So there's like 4 or 5 football guys that come across my feed that are very, very funny follows on Instagram.
Yep.
So what little I know about football come from these guys. So I know Drake May and Mike Vrabel. And I will say, when I followed the Patriots, Mike Vrabel is one of my all-time favorite players.
Yeah.
He has, there's a couple other Instagram handles that I follow that are like absolutely insane stats, like stats that you can't believe like are real. There's some NFL quarterback who has as many rushing yards as like Bo Jackson or something like that, who played for like 20 years and got like 200 yards a seison because he played 20 years and Bo Jackson only played a few.
Right, sure.
You're like, wait a minute, how does, anyways. So it's one of my favorite bizarre stats. Mike Vrabel, linebacker Mike Vrabel, has 11 touchdown catches.
Yes.
That's not the stat that is amazing. Mike Vrabel has 11 touchdown catches on 11 targets.
Yeah.
He's only been throwing the ball 11 times. Now, the first 7 times I can see the Patriots getting away with it. But after that, anytime the Patriots were like 3rd and goal from the 2 and Mike Vrabel's lining up on the offensive line and the defensive coordinator doesn't call a timeout or doesn't cover Mike Vrabel, but he is 11. And it's funny because there are some pro guys who've played for like 4 or 5 years as tight ends who don't have 11. So I know Vrabel is a coach, and I know, and here's the only thing. No, I'm not getting back on the bandwagon. I don't have any desire to watch games. Yes, if there's a playoff game and Joe and I go to my mom's house, fine. But I will say this. The one thing that I enjoy about the Patriots doing well is all the content creators who are doing these funny skits about the people melting down that the Patriots are doing well. That it's not fair that you get another generational quarterback just 5 years after you lose your generational quarterback. And it's pissing people off. The one thing that people keep making a joke about, yes, it sucks that the Patriots are good again. Yes, it's not fair that they have a quarterback who's good again. It sucks that he's likable. If you're going to be Patriot quarterback, at least not be likable.
But it's like I don't love Tom Brady, but to some degree, I don't get all the hate. And and as soon as he started doing the broadcast thing, obviously, like any person starting out at the beginning kind of sucks, right? I remember, LA Kings play by the analyst is Jimmy Fox, and I remember when he first started because he started doing it when he got injured. He had a knee injury, and that's kind of how he started. And he sucked. And there was one time where he said something that was outright, racist towards the Mexican Americans that he had to apologize on air for, 10 minutes later because the producer said, "Yeah, dude, you can't say that on the whatever." So but I think season 2, I think Brady is a pretty decent analyst, but they're just, is it just because of I guess it's because of the success, right? It's like the same thing with I didn't like the Manning brothers when they were players, but I love the Manning cast. Well, it's freaking hilarious.
I will say I saw the clip of Tom Brady a few weeks ago. Yeah. So he's on the round table, and so there's 6-7 people, and Rob Gronkowski is to his immediate right.
Right. Yeah.
Like right next to him. And they show a highlight where I guess it was a second touchdown pass that game from Drake May to whoever their new tight end is. Yeah. And Tom Brady doesn't break, straight face says, well, Drake May is probably throwing to the greatest tight end with the Patriots, and he doubles down, and everybody around him is just rolling on the floor, and he doesn't break. He's just, because he's just a talent that the Patriots have never seen before.
Well, they're trying to do the NBA on TNT stuff, because I don't know if you've ever seen any of that.
Yeah. Like Shaq and Barkley
now moved out to ESPN.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. Like Shaq and Barkley kind of ribbing each other.
All that whole thing.
But Gronk is right there, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. But
he's not right there. No, the Shaq and Barkley, and all those guys are in a different stratosphere in terms of that. Those guys are. I'll say this. I want to even say that the NHL guys are funnier than those NFL guys right now.
Oh, they always have been, but with the NFL.
They're Canadian. They have to be funny.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. I will also say this. What little I know about the NFL.
They also have a Sweden there, so.
I very much, very much, very much enjoy that. I haven't watched a football game in 5 years, but it's nice to know that the Jets are still the Jets in every way, not just on the field, off the field. I was watching one of these content creators talking about, I guess the NFL Players Association every year ranks the owners. Yeah. And so a ballot goes to every player, and the players, it's a secret ballot, and the players rank ownership and management and locker room facilities and training facilities and this. And I guess by a country mile, the Jets are dead last. And so what's his name? Johnson. Is it Woody Johnson who owns the Jets?
Something like that, yeah. That seems to be the subject. But it's kind of funny, though. They've had some weird, unexpected win. I think they beat Cincinnati, who had Joe Burrows at the time, I think. So it's a bit of weird. Obviously they suck, but aside from the Patriots, that whole division sucks this year because the Buffalo, them and the Bills, right? It's the Bills and the Patriots. Everybody else sucks. So,
but it's great to see that. So now I guess Woody Johnson threw a gasket and he wants it banned. He's like, dude, you can't ban what the Players Association does. But he wants the NFL to come in and make some kind of rule that you can't make this public. It's like, Or now, hear me out, Woody. Stop being such a prick.
Well, yeah.
Maybe not go out of your way to be the worst owner in sports. But so I do. I love the fact that people are melting down. It's not getting me back on the bandwagon because I got to tell you, the more European football I watch, last week I watched 2 games in which truly in stoppage time, there was 3 goals in one game scored in stoppage time. It was a 1-0 game going into stoppage time, and it ends up being a 3-2 game where
now you're losing both Joe and me.
Yeah, but Dave LaPointe
to me, all of football is stoppage time. That's
what I will say. Just stop it.
I will say one of the things that some whatever was telling me about how football is is like the ultimate whatever sports and all that stuff. It's like, dude, if you watch a football game, right? Like, over 50% of the game is, like walking around waiting for the next play to happen. The clock is running, right? It's like there's the huddle and then there's a whatever. It's like, yeah, how much actual play time is there in a football game, right? So don't tell me you're all this like stud boy stuff when like games like hockey and basketball, when the clock's running, the players are actually playing the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when the NFL package started, they had this thing where the day after the game, you could watch the entire game.
Oh, they still have that. The NFL Network.
Just the plays.
Yeah, they have the NFL Network does that, the condensed game.
And it's about 10 minutes. An NFL game.
Minutes, but
no, literally, it just goes play because each play is only on average like 5 or 6 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're running, yes, a long run play, a kickoff, those plays are like 10, 15 seconds. Yeah. But an NFL game, just the actual time.
Well, I will say this that the play starts when the line lines up.
Yeah.
Right? So the actual play after they hike the ball is that short, but the play actually starts when the line starts because that's where the actual everything actually happens. So
where
that's where the reads happen. That's where the calls happen. That's where they try to draw you off sides, all that stuff. So,
but like with the NHL, it's like, what was it? About 30 years ago, they started putting Pedialyte in the water bottles because you lose so much water weight in an NHL game. An NHL
the
player
electrolytes, right? It's for the electrolytes. Yeah.
Well, an NHL player can lose 5 pounds in a game, like 5-6 pounds in a game. Same thing. Soccer.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are running 9, 10, 11 miles in a game. You're running a half a marathon, out there. Where football players, anyways.
No, it's physically the most grueling. It is. But in positionally speaking, like certain ones, right? It is physically the most grueling. But the amount of stuff that you're doing during the game is like, yeah.
So you guys watching?
Makes fun of baseball though.
Yeah, that's a different story. You guys watching any? Actually, hold on before I move off. We've talked about it before, but Blue Lock is an anime show about Japan trying to find or trying to create the world's greatest striker. Highly recommend that, Biff.
No.
But it's funny because in the show, the mad genius who orchestrates this thing talks about why Japan isn't good at soccer, but they're really good at baseball because the roles are so traditionally Japanese. It's like your role is so well defined. This is what you do. This is what our expectation for this position is. It's not like other sports where you're on offense. No, you're in defense. Oh, no, you're here. And it was a really fun kind of commentary. Great show. Anyways.
That's not true, but whatever. Okay.
That was their take on it.
Yeah.
Blue Lock, highly recommend. Now, Joe, what are you watching? What are you watching?
I am way into Pluribus.
Oh, thank you.
Apple TV.
Awesome. Okay, beat me to the punch.
Yeah, it's the new Vince Gilligan show with creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. It stars Ray Seahorn, who played Kim Wexler on Better Call Saul. And I can't really talk. I went into it cold, and I am glad that I did because I kind of knew-ish maybe what it was about, but basically it's best to just discover it for yourself. I'll just say this: it's a very unique and interesting take on a well-worn genre. So something that we've seen 1,000 times in the past 20 years on television and in movies, this is sort of a unique take on that, and it's funny and it's interesting, and I can't stop thinking about the show. Well, and it's one of those weekly drops, so it's good. I like what I see, and I'm thirsty for more. I think it's up to episode 5 out of 10 this season.
I love it. I binge watched it in one night. I will make one slight correction. It is a trope that's been around since the 50s.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it really, like, the resurgence of this trope has come by in the last 20 years.
Look, I was part of that resurgence in my movie. What did we finally call it? Thank you. It's funny because I
know I'm trying not to give too much away about what Pluribus is about.
Exactly. But it's fun. I went into that cold, and I also went into Down Cemetery Road cold, which I gave Joe another BBC show that I'm like, hey, Joe's management might like this. It's another, kind of, like a private detective doing the cop's job kind of investigation show that is, it's really fun. Apple TV is really probably over the last couple of years, because they also have Loot, which is
and they had Severance. They have all these good shows, The Morning Show and all. Slow Horses. Could not recommend Slow Horses more. I think that's in season 6. But Pluribus, I'm glad that you brought that up. That was on my list of shows to bring up. What are you watching, Biff?
Not really much. I just been too busy at work, so I'm just watching whatever garbage crap. Even though I do watch these, TV feeds from from Japan on YouTube, because they do these weird regional. There's this one show that does these regional things, and one of the things that people don't know in general about Japan is, like, this country, like, if you go to Cajun country, you can't understand what those people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the same applies to certain parts of Japan, where it's like, I don't, it's like, so they, they have these, competitions on, not competition, but like they say, well, which one is actually harder to, to really understand? And I'm like, that's, so stuff like that. Garbage stuff.
Jacque, are you watching Stranger Things?
So we just started that. That's a family show. We've always watched that together. And the other night we watched the first 3 episodes together. We went back and we watched the last episode of the previous season, because it's been like 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And look, every time there's a new season, like the recap, like a few weeks ago watched the new version of Dexter, the new Dexter, and 2 years ago there was a 2-season arc of Dexter where he goes to Alaska, or wherever he goes. I didn't watch. Wherever it was, I didn't watch it. But so I watched the new season. The first 5 minutes, recap the last 2 seasons. I'm like, okay, I feel up to speed. But where we're invested in Stranger Things, now here's the funny thing: is everybody has talked about this. Some of those kids look the same 2 years later, and some of those kids, you're like, is that a different actor? Is his dad playing him now? It's like, wait, they're in high school still?
Right. A lot of those barely legals are now fully legals.
I
don't know about it. They were probably.
Well, look, when the show started like 8 years ago, they were high school kids playing high school kids.
It's 8 years ago. Oh, wow.
Dude, it's something like that. And now, like, one of the kids, dude, he's just a couple of so some of the older actors who were playing down still look the same. It's like, all right, so this kid who's 20, 21, 22, he's playing a 17-year-old, fine. Well, now that he's 30 playing a 23-year-old, it's like,
worse than 21 Jump Street.
Yes, dude. It's like, but because it was 2 years since the last show.
Yeah.
It's
the
fun.
The first line of the new season is "Hello, fellow kids." Boy.
But it's fun. It's fun, and we're watching it together, which is a fun thing. I do enjoy the fact that like I said, with Blue Lock, I'm watching that together with my 2 sons. They watch a couple shows together, but this is the one show that we've been waiting to watch together as a family. So we'll watch the rest of it tonight. Because they're doing 2 drops. They drop half the season now, and I think half the season in a few weeks.
2028 is what the name.
For a second, I'm like, oh, is Joe fucking with me? Because it wouldn't surprise me if he turned around and said that. But hopefully this is it, right? I think everyone's saying this is it. We're wrapping it up. However it ends, it ends.
Right.
That's it. We're riding off into the sun. We're pulling.
This is like the longest running series in Netflix history. I mean, usually they cancel these goddamn shows after 2 seasons.
True. That's true.
You know,
right? This is like their Rawhide or Bonanza or something.
Rawhide.
I'm hoping it ends, like in Blazing Saddles, where they literally just get in a truck and drive up over the ridge into the sunset.
Get into a limo. Yeah.
Just drive away. And we're done, folks. We're all done. But I'm enjoying it. I
a limo with a hot tub in it. And...
Yes.
Right. Oh, so we have any parenting tips to wrap up?
You know what? I left mine at my family's house when we went to Thanksgiving dinner. So
wait, your tips or your children?
That's for you to find out, isn't it? They'll find their way home. They're adults. Or maybe they'll find a new home. God willing. I love my kids. I keyed. My kids.
I keyed.
What about you, Jacques? You got 12 parenting tips.
No, I guess my parenting tip was, be supportive to whoever your child decides, they want to, have a relationship with them. Encourage them to come visit your child so you have new people to embarrass your child in front of. I mean, this my oldest kid's friend flying out. It's Christmas for me because this kid hasn't seen Grayson's old YouTube channel from when he was 7, So let's sit down and watch this. But that kid had a YouTube channel too, so we watched that. But it is, my parenting tip is like support whoever they like, because whoever it is, it's a new person for you to embarrass your child in front of.
I thought your parenting tip out of that would have been get your kid a YouTube channel when they're young so you can embarrass them 10 years later.
I don't think you have a choice. I didn't know my kid that had a YouTube. I mean, my
parenting tip is that, don't unnecessarily torment your children so that they would have to drive up their therapist bills when they're adults.
Right. Because guess who's paying those bills? Not him.
Well, no, I'll probably have to help pay my son's therapist bills because he's going to be busy paying his 50-year mortgage. That's a podcast for another
Lucky.
day. Gentlemen,
What? Is that a sentence? Nope. Oh, Jacques had a stroke. Oh well. That hernia surgery apparently didn't take. It ruined his ability to wrap up a podcast. Biff, it's always good to see you. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to I'm sure we have 2 more episodes before Christmas, before the end of the year. So, there is no sideshow next week, to my knowledge. Jacques had surgery; he's recovering. Maybe Jacques could just do a podcast of him playing Resident Evil 5 on the couch for 2 hours straight. Which would just be a fraction of the amount of time that he plays Resident Evil 5 on the couch. But, he's in recovery, and that is warranted. Whereas, if I were to be playing a video game for that long, it would be because I have nowhere else to go. I have nothing else to do. I have no plans. I have no concept of time. I think I'm going to live forever. I have no way of planning out what I will be doing with my free time. That's why I would be doing such a thing. But it's a great time of year, this December, right? This is like everybody's gearing up for the holidays, and I'm sure you got all your Black Friday shopping done, deals. Who cares, right? Like everything's awful. You're just going to end up doing the last minute shopping like you always do, Joe. That's just what you're going to do. You're not going to think about presents until it's like, oh crap, it's the 23rd. I really, really should be doing something about giving gifts to my family that I love, to show them my appreciation and all that stuff. But you know what? That's what I don't know where I'm going with this sentence. I've given up. I think I'm having a brain hernia. Can you get one of those? Can you have a hernia of the brain? I think I have 4 of those. But I'm glad Jacque is recovered. I'm glad that, he's back on the podcast, because that means we're back on the podcast talking to you kind folks that listen. For some reason, I haven't checked the numbers. I assume the people are listening. But I'm glad that you do. I know what, it makes me want to be a better podcaster. After 8 years of doing this thing, I feel like now's the time to really step up my game, like really work on that scripting of your thoughts, really work on the not wasting time, not wasting people's valuable, sweet, precious, fleeting time, describing a transgression that you made to a virtual stranger for 10 minutes about a Bob Newhart sketch that nobody remembers nor cares about, nor did he, the person you brought up the sketch to, probably instantly forgotten about as soon as he walked away and turned his back on you. But that's the thing that rattles around in my mind. You don't understand how much I wanted to veer the car into a tree on the way home that night when I realized I gave him the wrong information about a 30-year-old sketch. It pains me to know that I led somebody astray, somebody who was a student of comedy, who made, basically their career on comedy, to then try to introduce them to something that they may not have seen, only to steer them in the wrong direction. You had one job, Joe, and that's to reference a comedy sketch correctly, and your convoluted mind couldn't get that straight. And that is why you fail. That is why you are a failure at comedy, at social skills, and at life. You are a loser. And there is no changing that. Do you think I beat myself up too much? Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Oh, Jacque's talking now. Oh, Jacque had a pipe up. Good. Good for you, Jacque. All right. Well, good night, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And, if there's anything you remember, is that you don't forget.
With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertainers. And he she wants some water to put out the motor, just because you're paranoid. Don't mean they're not after you. One baby, two, another son. I'm lucky I met you. And it is now my duty to completely drain you. And I don't care what you think, unless it is about me. Truth covered in security. I can't let you smother me. I'd like to, but it couldn't.